Most leaders were promoted because of what they knew. Their technical expertise, their strategic thinking, their ability to deliver results. And those things matter. But here is what the research confirms: emotional intelligence accounts for 58% of job performance. Not technical skill, not IQ, not strategy. Emotional intelligence. And 93% of employees say they would stay with an empathetic employer. The leader who understands people outperforms the leader who understands the business every single time. This is what the talent. Emotional intelligence is not being nice. It is not being soft. It is not avoiding difficult conversations. Daniel Goleman's research, the most cited framework on this topic, defines emotional intelligence as 5 specific competencies. Self-awareness, knowing what you're feeling. Understanding how your emotions affect your behavior. And recognizing how others experience you. Self-regulation, managing your reactions before they manage you. The space between a trigger and a response. That space is where leadership happens. Motivation, driving performance from internal standards, not just external rewards. The leader who sets the tone regardless of conditions. Empathy, understanding what others are experiencing. Not necessarily agreeing with it, but genuinely understanding it. Social skills. Building relationships that make things happen. Influence without authority. Communication that lands. These are not personality traits. They are learnable skills. And the research is clear: leaders who develop them outperform those who don't on almost every measurable outcome. The conditions of this moment are creating a specific leadership test. Test 1. Leading through sustained uncertainty. 130,000 jobs cut in 2026. AI reshaping every function. Economic pressure at historic levels. Leaders who respond to uncertainty with control and directives generate compliance. Leaders who respond with transparency, acknowledgement, and genuine connection generate trust. And trust is the only currency that holds when everything else is shifting. Test 2. Leading across generations. Millennials and Gen Z now make up the majority of the workforce. Business Solvers research confirms these generations prioritize purpose, well-being, and emotional intelligence in leadership more than any generation before them. They are not looking for a boss. They are looking for a leader who sees them. Test 3. Leading in the AI era. As AI absorbs technical and analytical tasks, the distinctly human capabilities become more valuable. Not less. Judgment. Empathy. Relationships. Context. The things AI cannot replicate at scale are exactly what emotionally intelligent leaders provide. The leader who invests in EQ right now is investing in the capability that AI cannot automate. Here is the most significant finding in the Business Solver research. The empathy gap. 91% of CEOs believe their organization is empathetic. 68% of employees agree. That 23-point gap has persisted for nearly a decade. Leaders consistently overestimate how empathetic their organizations actually feel to the people inside them. And the consequences of that gap are documented: 3 times higher organizational toxicity, 1.3 times more mental health issues, significantly higher attrition. The leader who believes they are empathetic, but whose team does not experience them that way, is not leading with empathy. They are performing it. And people know the difference. Compassion in leadership is not about being liked. It is about 4 specific behaviors that research has confirmed. Attending, actually noticing when someone is struggling. Not after they've resigned. Not after they've burned out. While the signals are still early. Understanding, seeking to genuinely grasp what another person is experiencing. What's making this hard for you? Is a compassionate question. Why isn't this done yet? Is not. Empathizing, acknowledging the human reality of what someone is going through. Even when you cannot fix it. That sounds genuinely difficult. I hear you. 2 sentences. The impact of those 2 sentences on a person carrying a heavy load is measurable in engagement, loyalty, and performance. Helping, taking action where possible. Adjusting the workload. Providing the resource. Making the introduction. Removing the obstacle. These 4 behaviors attending, understanding, empathizing, helping are not personality traits. They are leadership practices. They can be taught. They can be measured. And in 2026, they are becoming KPIs. Everything in emotional intelligence starts here. Self-awareness. The leader who doesn't know how they land when they're under pressure, who doesn't recognize that their stress is being felt by everyone in the room, cannot regulate what they cannot see. Research confirms that self-aware leaders make better decisions, navigate conflict more effectively, build more trusting relationships, and are significantly less likely to derail when conditions get difficult. The hardest part of self-awareness for leaders is that the people most in need of it are often the least aware they need it. Power reduces the feedback leaders receive. People stop telling leaders hard truths when they fear the consequences. Which means the leader operating with the least accurate self-image is often the most senior person in the room. The deliberate pursuit of honest feedback from peers, from direct reports, from coaches is not a weakness. It is the most strategically important thing a leader can do for their own development. Move 1. Take the 360. A formal 360-degree feedback assessment gives you data on how you actually land, not how you think you land. The gap between those 2 things is your development agenda. Most leaders who take a rigorous 360 find at least one significant blind spot. Find yours before your team does. Move 2. Build the pause. Self-regulation is a practice, not a trait. The pause between stimulus and response is where emotional intelligence lives. Leaders who practice the pause, who create a deliberate moment before responding to a frustrating email, a difficult conversation, a team member's mistake, consistently make better decisions and build stronger relationships. Move 3. Ask the human question. Once a week. In every one-on-one. One question that has nothing to do with work output. How are you actually doing? What's been hardest this week? Is there anything I should know about? That question, asked genuinely and consistently, is one of the highest leverage leadership behaviors the research has documented. 58% of job performance. That is what emotional intelligence accounts for. 93% of employees would stay with an empathetic employer. Teams led with empathy are 8.5 times more engaged. And yet the empathy gap between what leaders believe and what employees experience has persisted for nearly a decade. The technical skills got you here. The emotional intelligence determines how far you go. And more importantly, how many people stay with you on the way. Comment EQ below. Disclaimer: this content is based on 20 years of HR experience and is for informational purposes only. This is what the talent. The move is yours.